is a long strip of land between the Pacific Ocean and the Amazon rainforest, to the east of Brazil. I've been photographing Peru's indigenous peoples for 25 years, and the Q'ero have always impressed me with their living environment so high up in the mountains, and with their religion, a mixture of Christianity and Andean faith. Over the years, I've developed strong ties with this community. This is the fourth photo feature I've dedicated to them. In the village of Quico at 4,200 meters, I look forward to sharing in daily rituals that are shaped by living at high altitude. And later, I will discover one of the most incredible religious gatherings in the world, the Qoyllur Rit'i pilgrimage, where each year, over the course of 3 days, 70,000 indigenous people gather together to affirm their faith in a whirlwind of dances, processions, songs, and prayers. Witness to the grandeur and the decadence of the Inca Empire, which ruled this territory unchallenged from the 13th to the 16th century, until Spanish settlers invaded. Today, descendants of the Inca make up 45% of the population, spread out across various indigenous nations. The village of Quico is 3 hours from Cusco, the former Incan capital. To get there, one must leave the comfort of paved highways and navigate a network of hilly dirt roads. As we climb higher and higher, the landscape becomes lunar, the temperature glacial, and oxygen becomes increasingly scarce. I cover the last few meters of the climb on foot to reach Cesar's house. Cesar will be my guide during this trip. I'm back in the country, finally. Upon my arrival, Cesar hands me some coca leaves to chew, a tradition in the Andes.
Este lugar es Falchayo. Viendo de eso, ha construido una casa aquí, en 2002.
Ya.
Entonces, él ha vivido con sus niños, con mi mamá, feliz acá, y sentía bien. Y al final le ha gustado vivir acá.
Ah, sí.
Entonces, nosotros también hemos construido casa, mis hermanos. Entonces, han construido ya hasta el momento, desde el 2002, hasta el momento, ya tiene 5 casas.
Do you know how many people live here on the plateau?
Total, la quebrada, con todos anexos.
Sí, más o menos.
La comunidad es 86.
86, 86.
Comuneros.
Ah, sí, ya.
Entonces, más alto con los niños, con las mujeres.
Mucho más. Sí,
mucho
sí,
más. Cerca de 400, 400, sí, con los niños todos.
For the Q'ero, living at altitude is a direct consequence of the Spanish invasion. Hunted from their own lands and threatened by the conquistadors, they were forced to flee to the mountains where there were no riches to tempt the greedy invaders. Since then, their way of life has hardly changed. Some of the thatched roofs have been replaced with tin, but as for everything else, the village seems to be frozen in time. Until recently, the villagers of Kiko lived in near total isolation and are still cut off from the rest of the country during the long winters. Abundance isn't even a concept here. Every resource, every piece of knowledge is a vital element of community life.
Ya, es súper.
Each time I arrive, I come to ask the village shaman, Antonio, Cesar's father, for permission to photograph a ritual, the pago. Unlike Catholic rituals, this ritual is carried out on request and is not subject to any calendar. This ritual is a long prayer, punctuated with offerings to the two gods who watch over the Q'ero, Pachamama, Mother Nature, and the Apu, the spirits of the mountains. During the long litanies, the shaman renews his faith and respect for the gods and asks for peace and prosperity for all. We sit under a sacred rock, 1 hour from the village. The ceremony begins with offerings.
Ahora voy a echar aquí vino, aquí pisco.
Uf,
Ya.
ok.
Por eso para pagar aquí ya están comprendiendo, ¿no? Están Pachamama, aquí están Apo.
Opa.
O están tomando té. Ven. Echa solo, echa. Primero vino, Pachamama, mano
Ajá.
izquierda.
Alas.
Mano derecha, pisco. ¿Ya?
Wait.
¿Comprendes?
Sí, pero a derecha
Yeah,
es los
the
Apus,
right hand
a
is
la
the
izquierda
Apu,
es
the guardian
Pachamama,
spirits,
Pachamama,
and
ok.
the left hand is
Et les
Pachamama.
Apus. Donc, à main droite, c'est les
Okay,
Apus,
so
les
the right is the Apu, and the left is Pachamama.
Y ahora sí.
Ya.
Ya. Listo.
Oh.
Ahora, bonitos.
Ta.
Pero para ustedes, para invitar, para ustedes, a que estén viajeros, ustedes, ¿no?
Ya.
Yo no me vivo, ¿cierto?
Ya.
Ustedes más vale recomendar solamente que necesitan Pachamama. Ya, listo. Claro, eso va a llevar Apo.
Apo.
A ver, Santa Terra Pachamama. A ver, Conaka Mamacocha. Serena Sepa, Serena Ancencho. Sumata que Chicnota, Conanca Tangangira and Tanque. Sumaho Croqueta. Ame Kangi Pachamama. Teximo Yontin. O Chips at Tomps of Yohnino, Walter. Corripis Colcapis. Corpiccio Colcapicio. A ver, Monton Tempe. Camping Juanapis Mijunapis. Al Pengivici Kunkenos, the Kunkum and Jakunke. Sumach Lishin Shaikimanta Pachamama. Lishin Shaikimanta Pachamama, Mamacocha Lishin Shaikimanta, Al Pekunkipici Kunke.
Then it's time for the prayers, during which Antonio offers up candy, coca leaves, and seeds to ensure his prayers are heard.
Dice Villa solamente para que ya no faltan los para todo en casa. Todo en Pachamama, en la casa de tu pueblo, pero junto a alemán ustedes, ¿no es cierto?
Ya.
Voy a recomendar para todos.
Ya, gracias, papá.
¿Está bien?
Sí.
Night will soon fall on the mountain. We hurry back to the village because here, summer and winter alike, the temperature drops below zero as soon as the sun disappears behind the mountains. Tomorrow, Cesar and his companions will leave for the Qoyllur Rit'i pilgrimage. An alpaca will be sacrificed for the occasion. Often confused with llamas, the alpaca is one of the only animals capable of living at this high altitude.
Para nosotros importante es alpaca, más importante es de su lana. De su lana nos esquilamos y lo tejemos poncho, mantas, y gorras, y guantes, medias, y nos vestimos con esto. Y algunos nos vendemos. Y su cuero también para dormir es bueno. Sí, aquí no tenemos nosotros encima de cuero de alpaca. Sí, es muy importante.
An alpaca this size will feed a family for 3 weeks. The sunshine and arid air dry out the meat, and the cold temperatures preserve it. The Q'ero don't have furniture inside their homes. No chairs, no mattresses, no tables. There's no chimney either. It's like traveling back in time.
Qué bonito.
Muy rico, cocinera. Cocinera. Qué
Oh, like chewing gum. It's strange. I'm not sure I like it. I wanted to try it, but it's strange. I think I'll cheat and get rid of it. Just make it go away, quietly.
¿Cómo te llamas para acá? Ya, gracias, súper bien. Excelente.
This reminds me of my grandparents when they were making blood sausage. They would speak in low voices as if in a chapel.
Excellent.
What I find interesting is that you live between 2,000 meters down at the selva and 5,000 meters here. That's what makes you different, isn't it?
Esto también, nosotros tenemos abajo la selva donde cosechamos maíz.
Oh, that's incredible.
Sí. De acá, 8 horas de caminata hacia abajo, hacia selva.
So at the forest level, there's corn, and then in the main villages, they grow potatoes, and up here, you have alpacas.
Hay alpacas y papas.
Oh, you have potatoes here too?
Porque tengo selva, tengo medio selva, tengo la altura para vivir con las alpacas y para cultivar papas y otras cosas. Y junto con las apus, la pachamama, el diversión para hacer ceremonia. Por ejemplo, en las ciudades no se pueden hacer esto, no se pueden hacer cultivar. O sea, no hay terreno.
Claro.
Es para nosotros muy orgullo.
A portion of the meat will be kept as supplies for the pilgrimage. Okay, ready for action? The The departure day has arrived. We leave the village and head to the mountain pasture of Sinakara at 4,700 meters above sea level, where the Qoyllur Rit'i ceremonies take place. It's the beginning of the pilgrimage, so they're happy. Are you happy?
Sí, claro. C'est l'arrivée, là.
As we get closer, walking down the mountain, the sound of hypnotic music gets louder and louder. We are greeted with a Dante-esque vision, the Qoyllur Rit'i pilgrimage. For 3 days, day and night, dozens of brotherhoods and thousands of pilgrims will join together in festive, friendly fervor. Cattle herders from the plains, forest and mountain-dwelling tribes, the entire indigenous nation is represented here. During this unique gathering, the indigenous communities will seek counsel from their gods, both the Christian gods and Pachamama and the Apu. The pilgrimage was born out of a legend. In 1870, the religious Spanish conquistadors heard about a strange phenomenon on this mountain pasture. Miraculously, herds of animals were growing in size without any explanation. Determined to solve the mystery, they came to this pasture and, after investigating, concluded that these phenomena were caused by a miraculous gift of a young boy. While trying to capture him, the child was cornered against a rock and disappeared in a flash of bright light. And as with the Shroud of Turin, an imprint of the child was left on the rock. And so, the legend of Lord Qoyllur Rit'i was born. A church was later built around the rock.
Por Jesucristo nuestro Señor. Amén. Inclinamos la cabeza para la bendición.
I'm always surprised by the incredible syncretism here. For example, in this church, we're attending a mass that could not be any more Catholic, but there are also all the attributes of the Andean religion. There's a real mixture of people here, and it's fascinating.
Y que el Espíritu Santo
Peru converted to Catholicism when it was colonized by Spanish conquistadors who arrived in the country with missionary priests. It was a forced evangelization, which led to the destruction of many Andean temples and the persecution of shamans. Nowadays, Catholicism is the official religion of the state. The pilgrimage is also the opportunity for pilgrims to request material goods. To do so, Cesar takes me to the improvised market beside the festival. The stands are covered in model houses, cars, religious figures, and charms.
Coches, pero no tengo, no hay acá, porque me gusta. No hay acá.
What are those? Lucky charms. Have you seen any that interest you, Cesar?
Paquete, todo. ¿Esto cuánto? 10 soles. Sí, sí, bueno, es con dólares. ¿Cuál es esto?
Ya. ¿Tu nombre?
César Antonio.
Copacabana, Señor de Oaxaca, México ha venido a tu santuario a verte, a saludarte, a pedirte con mucha fe, con mucha voluntad que la ayudes, le proteja de todo daño, de todo mal. Que salga el mal de su hogar, de su casa, de su trabajo, su negocio, en el Padre, el Hijo, el Santo. Amén. Que todos tus deseos y anhelos se te cumplan. Excepto tus manos, y que tengas buena mano, que te fuerza tu mano. Señor de todo lo que has pensado te va a ayudar. Gracias. En buena hora, que con mucha fe, con mucha voluntad.
Gracias.
These objects are representations of what the pilgrims desire. Through the grace of prayer and incantation, they hope that their desires will come true and that the models will be transformed into real goods.
¿Qué se está comprando?
Una casa.
¿Casa de cuántos pisos?
5 pisos.
De 5 pisos. ¿De cuántos metros cuadrados?
¿Cuántos metros quieres tener? 2000.
El título, la licencia y esta es la propiedad privada.
Ese es título de propiedad, ¿no?
Sí, ese es el título de propiedad.
Terreno.
La propiedad privada.
Can you explain what's going on? Because I'm struggling to understand.
Lo he comprado una casa. He comprado una casa en Cusco.
Okay. Okay, and that's the house, yes?
Hizo patio.
And that's the patio and the garage.
Y mi camioneta, un garaje. Sus documentos. Título de propiedad del carro, vehículos. Su licencia, todo tengo. Todo.
It's serious. This is for real.
Es serioso.
Toda la documentación.
Sí. Y esto estamos haciendo para el próximo año. Ojalá que Sinakara, el señor Qoyllur Rit'i, nos apoye igualito. Si no es próximo año, entonces sí, esperanza, pero siempre pidiendo la esperanza.
Entonces,
voy a esperar la esperanza, que el sueño para el futuro.
The pilgrims' faith is strong. They buy models and believe their prayers will transform them into real material goods. It's time for César to go back to his village, and I hope that before too long, his dreams will come true. It's the last night of Qoyllur Rit'i. In a few hours, all traces of the pilgrimage will disappear, and the mountains will be peaceful once again. I decide to climb further up to 5,200 meters. As night falls over the glacier, the cold seeps into my bones. Only the most fervent pilgrims have come up this far. As though their prayers can protect them from the cold, the intensity of the pilgrims' devotion reaches its peak. Each face here reveals total exhaustion, but no one sleeps during Qoyllur Rit'i. As the first light of dawn breaks, a final prayer is offered, but I don't know if it's meant for Christ, the Apu, or Pachamama.
Adelante, Jorge Nación Ginalia. Jorge Maki Ginalia, con alipentos por eso, hermanos. Con conexiones. Ahí está, señores de Qoyllur Rit'i. Puntayuiku, Iwawaikikuna, Nación Paucardamumanta. Canlayata, Aitai. Kunan Kutiusaku. Procesión de las 24 horas. Si vives con una junta Usaku, imaginas primera Nación Gina Paucartambo. Kawari waike taitai. Imanats kunan kiman chayamuiku. Kasqallante kutipusaqku wasiykuman. Kasqallante kunan kutipusaqku. Wasiykupin suyawasanku familiaykuna. Lluyki wawaykikunaq wasipas waqasparaqmi qhipanku. Yayayku hanaq pachakunapi kaq. Sutiyki wilasqachu. Qhapaqayniyki nuqaykuman hamuchun. Munayniyki ruwasqachu. Imayna hanaq pachapi. Kanallata kay pachapipas.
The sound of foghorns accompany the pilgrims' descent. They use every last ounce of strength for this final procession, causing the ground to rumble under their feet, as if Pachamama herself were dancing. In the 25 years I've been a photographer, I've observed the slow erosion of many cultures. But here, photographing these pilgrims as they snake their way down the mountainside, it's clear that the Queyros culture isn't ready to give up yet.